Hey guys, Marcus Catkin back with another daily fantasy update. This time I wanted to run down some of my waiver wire pickups you should be looking for on your waiver wire after week 1. First up is the only quarterback I have on my list, Jake Locker. He now has a outstanding young wide receiver core there. Justin Hunter, obviously a guy that's been a breakout candidate for a lot of people this year. Kendall Wright receiving touchdowns now, finally, after not receiving very many last year. And Delaney Walker out of the tight end position. You know, this is a team that is going to continue to struggle running the ball with Sean Green as their feature back. So look for them to look to Jake Locker a lot more in games. And in addition to his passing, he's going to pick up some points for you with his legs as well. He gets you great rushing stats. This week they play against the Dallas Cowboys, and I actually have him as a top 12 quarterback play this week because of that excellent matchup and as well as he's been playing. Next up, Benny Cunningham. You know, this is a guy that we've seen. I've been down on Stacy a lot, obviously, so far this preseason. And Stacy, again, unimpressive in this week 1 matchup. Cunningham splitting the carries with him. Actually had more snaps in this game than Zach Stacy did. So that's important to note there that Cunningham is actually on the field more. And a lot of people will point out that this was because they were down in the game and Cunningham was obviously much more involved in the passing game. But I really don't see that changing much. I think that's going to be a running theme we're going to see this year with the St. Louis Rams. You know, they're going to be down a lot with Sean Hill and Austin Davis as their starting quarterbacks. And, you know, quite frankly, with Zach Stacy doing as bad as he's done over the last few weeks, you know, going back to last year, this is a guy that, Benny Cunningham, that may actually take the starting role from Zach Stacy. So watch out for that as well. Next up on our list, we got Allen Hurns, the rookie for Jacksonville. 4 catches, 110 yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns. He's obviously their deep threat. I briefly went over him in our Sunday video, but this is a guy that should be a waiver wire pickup for you as well. Played in 90.8% of their team's snaps this past week. Was actually on the field more than Marquise Lee, his counterpart. But speaking of Marquise Lee, this is another guy that could be a potential waiver wire pickup for you as well. 6 for 62 receiving, was on the field for 90% of their plays as well. Just 1 less play than Allen Hurns. So this is a guy who's getting a lot of playing time and will be a little bit more consistent than Hurns. He seems to be more their possessional receiver, whereas Hurns is their deep threat. Next up, Robert Woods for Buffalo. You know, him and E.J. Manuel, going back to last year, have some sort of connection going on, and we saw it again here this week. He was the Bills' leading receiver, 4 catches for 78 yards. I think we see more of this. They have a real great connection going on, so I would look to him as another waiver wire pickup this week. These next 2 receivers, I'm going to kind of bunch them together. Andrew Hawkins and Brian Quick. They're waiver wire pickups strictly for the fact that they're the number 1 receiving options on their respective teams. I don't see them as being great fantasy value or being anything more than maybe a wide receiver 4 or maybe wide receiver 3. But if they're going to be the number 1 receiving options for each of their teams, they need to be picked up in all leagues. Finally, Niles Paul, the tight end for Washington. We saw Jordan Reed get hurt with a hamstring injury on Sunday. I personally think that he's going to miss a week or 2. And Niles Paul really picked up the slack, catching all 4 of his passes last week. So I think if you're in a bind or if you're a Jordan Reed owner, this is the guy you want to go out and get off the waiver wire. Don't forget to subscribe below so that you guys get all of my daily fantasy updates, and follow me on Twitter @MarcusCatkin.